okay with that.
It sounded good when I thought.
Log on and join our live conversation.
Yes,
I don't like that.
You're 100% right.
DBL starts right now.
We've got more of that in a minute. Welcome to DBL. It is Tuesday, August 27th. I'm here with Stephanie, Tori, Brandon. I am Sam. Let's get right to it. Well, Taylor Swift won big at last night's award show. She took home the coveted Video of the Year award for her song, You Need to Calm Down. And during her acceptance speech, the 29-year-old singer got political, calling out the White House.
I first want to say thank you to the fans because in this video, several points were made. So you voting for this video means that you want a world where we're all treated equally under the law. I want to thank everyone who signed that petition because it now has 500,000 signatures, which is 5 times the amount that it would need to warrant a response from the White House.
Taylor's Equality Act petition calls for equal rights for the LGBTQ community. Now, here's the thing, Tori. I'm reading everyone's comments online. Of course, the vast majority of people are applauding her, while some are saying it's a little too late.
Yeah.
You know, you're doing it when it's trendy. Where were you 5 years ago, 2 years ago, 10 years ago? And a lot of people referencing Madonna. You know, Madonna took that stance when things were very unpopular to take a stance for LGBTQ rights, as well as
That's a good point.
She took a stance for many other things, too. But she's still doing something.
Right.
Is that not enough? Do you not believe that this is authentic? Do you believe she's doing this because it's trendy?
I think all those things in some respects. I think she knows it's smart to do this. I think there's a lot of money to be made with the gay audience because she's a pop star and that they could be a really good support.
But is it sincere? I hope it is.
I think 1,000,000% I think it's sincere. She's danced with gay men. She's been around gay people. Her team, she's been very protective of those people. I think that DJ in Colorado who put his hand on her butt pushed her into action. Yeah. I think the second you feel disrespected and then when you stand up for yourself and get the kind of response that she did, it changes you as a person. Yeah. And I'm not saying she was sexually assaulted in a violent way, but
it doesn't matter.
Harassed.
Sexual assault is sexual assault.
Agreed. And I think it changed her. Well, and I'm happy about it.
And I'm glad you said that, Tori, because like you could say to her, where were you in 2016?
Right.
You can say that to a lot of people. A lot of people have become woke, whether it's through politics
she was also
or
a lot
social
younger.
injustices. Exactly. I mean, we're talking 10 years. Yeah, 10 years ago yesterday was when Kanye jumped up on the stage and kind of trolled her.
And she was just a teenager.
You see her 10 years later jump up on stage and troll the White House.
I know, she's a leader. People are listening. People are. This next moment, you guys, I can't.
So awkward.
It's the best. John Travolta had a very awkward moment at the show last night, and if you blinked, you might have missed it. He appears to try to hand the award to drag queen Jade Jolie instead of Taylor Swift. The moment lit up the internet with a lot of people commenting.
Wait, Sam, so you were telling me in the morning meeting, this isn't the first time that John Travolta has made this kind of mistake.
He has a pattern of behavior at award shows. I think you all remember this moment. Enjoy.
Here to perform the Oscar-nominated, gorgeously empowering song, Let It Go, from the Oscar-winning animated movie Frozen, please welcome the wickedly talented one and only Adele Dazeem.
Oh, no.
Here's the thing, though. We have, without calling people out, we have someone in this studio that has worked with him, that knows him on a more personal level. And she told me, this is a DBL exclusive. She told me that he is very nervous on stage. He shows up an hour in advance to run prompter, bless his heart. Other actors can go in there.
Yeah, right.
They do their thing. They don't care. They can do it seamlessly. They love it.
He can't.
But for him, it is so nerve-wracking being live. It's almost endearing. Yeah. And he takes himself so seriously. He doesn't want to flub. And I think he takes himself so seriously that it makes him flub. Yeah. But it's so endearing.
It is, because he was that one moment where he goes, Adele Dazeem. Oh, no, I've done wrong. I've done wrong.
Yeah.
I love him.
But remember, he's an actor. He's not a host, and it's two very different skill
You're right.
sets. And you know, he's used to being on set where he can rehearse the script over and over again, take 1, take 2, take 3. In this live situation and in front of a live audience, there's only one
and
shot.
he's in his head. You can tell.
Yeah.
He's too in his head. We love you, John Travolta. Don't you worry. We all love you. We've all been there. Lori Loughlin and her husband are heading to court in the college admissions scandal. Raquel Villanueva has news at this moment.
That's right, Sam. Lori Loughlin and Massimo Giannulli are ready to face the college admission scandal together. Now, just hours ago, they touched down in Boston on a private jet, and they are getting ready to appear in federal court today. They will ask a judge if they can use the same lawyer for their trial that will start early next year. Lori and her husband both face 40 years in prison for allegedly paying $500,000 to get their daughters into USC. Now, I'll let you know as soon as they arrive in court today.
With a red carpet.
I know.
What is this? Private jet in my butt.
She has not taken a page from Felicity Huffman's book. And Felicity Huffman, accused, so to speak, although it may be seen as a less egregious crime, but accused, so to speak, is the same exact crime. She presents herself very humbled, not as much makeup, not waving and smiling to cameras and signing autographs. And she's admitted her faults, right? And guess what? We are all rooting for Felicity Huffman. That's not the case with Lori Loughlin, who's arriving in a private plane.
Standing in front of the paparazzi, signing autographs.
What is this?
I think she
Does she not get it, Steph?
I think she's in a bubble. I do.
I think either she thinks she's completely above it and there's no need to worry, maybe down to the people that are around her, filling her head with very false information, or she just doesn't take it seriously.
You guys get
entitlement, pure entitlement.
You're looking at it wrong.
Okay, tell us.
Because the people surrounding her aren't giving her bad information. They're giving her information to where she really feels as though they're going to get off.
That's
She's
gross.
going flying there in a private jet.
Read the newspaper. You aren't.
You've been
It's the newspaper, not her lawyers.
You were canceled by Hallmark Channel, number one.
Okay.
That was her bread and butter. You were canceled by Fuller House. That was her bread and butter. Her daughter was kicked out. Her daughter lost all of her contracts.
Okay.
If those aren't moments to force you into looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, wow, I need to reevaluate myself in this situation.
Then she deserves
I don't know what
All right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I'm not advocating for her to get off because I think that's a social injustice. The rich get off.
It's true.
But
we all know that.
Aunt Becky knows something we don't know. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. You still got to look at yourself in the mirror in the court of public opinion. That's the dang truth. We are learning more about an astronaut accused of a space crime. Yesterday, we covered the story of a decorated NASA astronaut, Anne McClain, who allegedly got into her estranged wife's bank account from the International Space Station. Well, now her spouse is speaking out. Summer Warden says she went public with the allegations to expose what she says is the astronaut's calculated and manipulated campaign to win custody of her 6-year-old son. Here's what she told ABC News.
I was also placed under a restraining order from Anne that I could not leave Harris County with my son without Anne's written permission. It's really scary to me that as a fit and responsible parent that somebody can come and just literally stake a claim for possession of my child.
Wow.
The courts better get this right.
Yeah.
They better get this right because this is that kid's biological mother.
Who was
Not the astronaut.
Right, not the astronaut.
The woman speaking.
That's right. And the woman speaking had the baby 3 years before they ever got married. This seems, I've read a little bit about Summer's case. It seems a lot like the astronaut is obsessed with getting custody of a son that isn't.
Now, we don't know all the details.
Right.
You're right. On the surface, it seems like that the astronaut is being very controlling.
Yeah.
But just because someone is not their biological mother doesn't mean that that person has not been the mainstay in that child's relationship. We don't know. I mean, we know with every single divorce case what gets used and exploited, the children. And that's exactly what's happening in this situation is the divorce attorneys are getting involved. They're now making it public because they know that the dirtier and the murkier they can make that water, the more able the person is going to win. And it's almost like all gloves are off. They forget about the child and they just want to win. That's the system here in America when it comes to the divorce court.
Yeah, you were trying to explain it to me this morning and you were saying...
It's not like that in other places in the world.
It's not. I mean, obviously, this should be like a last resort.
Yes.
And I just think the whole story is obviously incredibly sad. But you were saying the reason why the lawyers here in America drag it out so long is because
to drain your bank account.
Money.
Yes, there's a fantastic documentary you can watch called Divorce Court, and you'll watch it and you'll have divorce attorneys finally go on there and they say, we will find out what's in your bank account. We say it's to protect it, but it's in reality to find out how much we can stretch this out to make sure that we make the money that we want to make. make. Wow. And that's the vast reality. You ask anybody out there at DBL Nation who's going through a child custody case, a divorce, you end up bankrupt at the end of it. So it's really sad. I hope that we can reform that whole system. Well, talk about your nightmare scenario. 16 children in Spain have developed what's known as werewolf syndrome, all from taking medication contaminated with a common hair regrowth serum. And just for reference, this is what people with werewolf syndrome look like. It's characterized by excessive hair growth anywhere on a person's body. The tainted medication was taken out of circulation, and the baby's hair growth subsided once they stopped taking the contaminated medicine. This makes me see red. Like, what regulations were somehow overseen? And this does happen. You look at, mothers in the 70s who were given certain pain medications while they were pregnant for their nausea, and then their children were born without limbs.
Yeah.
What?
Formaldehyde. Formaldehyde is what actually my grandmother was taken, and my aunt had many issues with it, and that's because even Billy Joel sings about it in We Didn't Start the Fire. Children of thalidomide. It was a terrible drug that many women got for pain when they were pregnant, and it caused horrendous birth
here's
defects.
the thing, when you are a parent and you're being told by your doctor, who's an authoritative figure, saying that this is approved, it's been regulated, you'll be okay, you feel powerless in that moment. You do. And the same thing with these young babies who had acid reflux. That is very uncomfortable for babies. It is also very common. But then when you have a doctor prescribe it to your child,
you're like, thank God.
You say thank God.
Right,
you don't think that your child's going to end up with werewolf syndrome, Stephanie.
Your children are literally, all of us are in the doctor's hands, and the people that make this medicine. We don't think about all the ins and outs when you take something, what the repercussions of that might be.
It's scary.
So how this actually happened was something that was like a mix-up with the drug, because the babies, they were little babies, they couldn't take a pill, they couldn't swallow the pill, so it was like a liquid form of the medication, and that's what actually caused this defect.
So next time you're upset about regulations out there, just know this saves lives.
Absolutely.
Slows you down, but it helps.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Well, Netflix is synonymous with streaming, but it turns out the service still ships out DVDs to customers in those iconic red envelopes, and it just passed a major milestone. Check out DVD Netflix employees celebrating. Are you ready for this? 5 billion shipments. Do the math. The company began its DVD by mail subscription service in April of '98, and it still has, to this moment, 2.4 million subscribers who are getting those DVDs in the mail.
DVDs?
My father-in-law
How do you Netflix and chill to DVDs? You got to be like, yeah, we can Netflix and chill, but you got to come. We can come over in like 3 to 5 business days. Standard shipping, baby. Standard shipping.
That means you got to be more organized. That means you better have dinner and the wine in London.
It's an older generation.
No, it's not. That's your privilege. 30% of this country does not have access to the internet. Streaming, Netflix is synonymous with the internet. A lot of the country doesn't even have that privilege. But there are people that do love, like our very own Jeff Schroeder loves his CDs. So perhaps there's people out there that are still connected to their DVDs.
Yeah. My father-in-law is 80, and he loves taking a cigar and walking to the mail and checking his Netflix. And he likes the feeling of a tactile object to put into a machine. It's more comfortable.
He's not the only one. $51.5 million in profit this year.
Wow. Brandon's, you missed Brandon's moment, Stephanie.
I'll see you tomorrow, girl. You're a priority. Prioritize shipping.
Wow. Oh my God, it's almost like you've done this. You've been there. That was Brandon. That was Brandon 10 years ago, let me tell you. DBL's Live coming up. Meet a girl who is learning what compassion is all about. We'll tell you what she's collecting for young asylum seekers in Heart Threads. And you, the viewer, are our 5th host. MTV has not rebranded one of its biggest awards named after Michael Jackson, but in the wake of child abuse allegations, should they? Your comments next. Gifting you something that one of our producers gifted me.
You're welcome.
So if you want to, so Tori was thinking about, what do I want for lunch?
I'm so bored with everything.
I'm sick and tired of spending way too much money on delivery, or even like just going to like a Trader Joe's or a Whole Foods and like getting my lunch and then it not like satisfying me, and then I just spent $14. That's a lot of money a day. So I know a lot of you are working. There's a place called, I don't know if it's local to you, but it's local here, The Simple Jar. This is not an advertisement. For me, it's great because it's in these really cute mason jars, super fulfilling.
filling. You can have 2 meals in there. I eat the whole meal as 1 meal. And awesome meals. I'm shocked. First of all, it's like less than $10 a day. You can easily get 2 meals out of it, and I'm shocked how, it is the best vegan meals I've ever had.
So what did you have today, for instance?
So last night I had an awesome ranch chopped salad, but then you wrap them in like tortillas. I didn't even need to because they're super filling. It's in the jar. You just shake the jar for the salad.
Wow.
Just shake the jar. The dressing's on the bottom, so it'll only get everything wet when it's time, and then you can put them in wraps if you want to. And then today I had a really fulfilling penne pasta.
I saw that.
Oh my God, with like Parmesan cheese, vegan Parmesan cheese on top, croutons, like
Here it is.
so good. The simple jar, and I just want to thank them because for someone like me who spends way too much money and too much time figuring out what the heck she's going to eat in the middle of the day, you've saved me.
And it's healthy.
And it's
she's
healthy,
vegan, so there's good
I'm getting my
options.
protein. I know I'm getting my carbs. I know I'm checking all the boxes, and I'm saving money. So. Honestly, thank you, the Simple Jar. I don't know if you'll ever see this,
You can
but
recycle the glass too.
so they drop it off every Monday. I have to give them back the
How great is
glass.
the
It's all
recycling?
sustainable. Yeah, they drop it off.
Look who's interested.
Seriously, Chris.
Can you do no carbs? Like, is it
Well, they're
different?
all.
I have to do no carb, no sugar.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
This one's on a diet, so we want to make sure he can get the
Okay,
same
so
thing.
that I don't know. I
Keto.
just know that the carbs in there are good carbs.
Welcome back to DBL. It's time for Fifth Host when we talk about what you're talking about. Congrats to Missy Elliott. She received the MTV Michael Jackson Video Vanguard Award last night, despite controversy. So here's the thing. The award was named after the King of Pop in 1991, before he was first accused of child molestation. MTV says it never considered renaming the award after the release of HBO's shocking documentary Leaving Neverland. Now, one of his main accusers, Wade Robson, is calling MTV's decision to not rename the award unfortunate. That was his quote. So DBL Nation, did MTV make the right decision? Take it away, Brandon.
Here we go. What's up, DBL Nation? Sherry from Facebook says, leave him alone and let him rest in peace. Plus, he was never found guilty of these charges. Sherry, I can't be a hypocrite on this one because being from Virginia, I want all Confederate monuments and statues burned to the ground. So there are people out there who feel that same way about Michael Jackson, the entertainer, the man. So I can't be a hypocrite on this one. I say just leave it up to MTV and the public.
Got it.